Hello friends, today we are going to study the Directive Principles. Our constitution aims to establish not only political democracy but also socio-economic justice to the people to establish a welfare state. With this purpose in mind, the Indian Constitution lays down desirable principles and guidelines in Part 4. These provisions are known as Directive Principles of State Policy. This novel feature of the Constitution is borrowed from the Constitution of Ireland, which had copied it from the Spanish Constitution. To implement the ideals and to achieve the goals enshrined in the preamble of our Constitution and to establish a welfare state, fundamental rights and directive principles of state policy have been provided for the Constitution. Part 4 containing articles 36 to 51 lay down the various provisions relating to directive principles of state policy. Dr. Ambedkar said that in my judgment, the directive principles have a great value, for they lay down our ideals in economic democracy. He explained in Constituent Assembly that the directive principles are like the instrument of instructions which were issued to the Governor General and the governors of the colonies and to those in India by the British government under the Government of India Act 1935. They are regarded as fundamental in the governance of the country and exercise of the power. The government will have to respect these instruments of instructions which are called directive principles. Now, let us see the classification of directive principles. The directive principles of state policy may be classified as social and economic charter, social security charter and community welfare charter. In this, some directive principles are of great importance. Social justice, that is social order based on justice given in article 38, equal pay for equal work, that is given under article 39D, equal justice and free legal aid, that is given in article 39A, and uniform civil code, that is given in article 44. Now, let us start. Social order based on justice is given under article 38. It provides that a state shall strive to promote the welfare of people by securing and protecting as effectively as it may a social order in which justice, social, economic and political shall inform all the instructions of the national life. Next, the state shall in particular strive to minimize the inequalities in income and endeavour to eliminate inequalities in status, facilities and opportunities, not only amongst individual but also among groups of people residing in different areas or engaged in different vocations. One of the ideals and goals to be achieved in the preamble of our Constitution is social justice. Article 38(1) of Indian Constitution envisages social justice. The expression justice, briefly speaking, is harmonious reconciliation of individual conduct with general welfare of the society. An act or conduct of a person is said to be just if it promotes the general well-being of the community. The expression social justice means abolition of all sorts of inequalities which may result from inequalities of wealth, opportunity, state, race, religion, caste and the like. The concept of social justice consists of diverse principles essential for the orderly growth and development of personality of every citizen. Social justice is not a simple or single idea of a society, but is an essential part of complex social change to relieve the poor and disadvantaged from handicaps, poverty, to ward off distress and to make their life livable. For greater good of the society at large, the main aim of social justice is to attain substantial degree of social, economic and political equality. Next is principles of policy to be followed by the state after securing economic justice. It is mentioned in Article 39. This article of Indian Constitution directs the state to follow 7 principles of policy of securing economic justice, that are equal right of men and women to adequate means of livelihood, distribution of ownership and control of material resources of community to the common good, to ensure that the economic system should not result in concentration of wealth and means of production to the common determinant, equal pay for equal work for both men and women, to protect health and strength of workers and tender age of children, and to ensure that they are not forced by economic necessity to enter avocations unsuited to their age and strength. That children are given opportunities and facilities to develop in a healthy manner and in conditions of freedom and dignity, and that childhood and youth are protected against the exploitation and against moral and material abandonment. In pursuance of Article 39D, the Parliament passed the Equal Remuneration Act 1976. Randhir Singh versus Union of India is a very important case. In this case, the Supreme Court held that the principle of equal pay for equal work, though not a fundamental right, is certainly a constitutional goal. It is equally applicable to the persons employed on a daily wage basis. Equal justice and free legal aid is given under Article 39A. It was inserted by the Constitution in 42nd Amendment Act 1976. It came into force from 3rd January 1977. In this, the state shall secure that the operation of the legal system promotes justice on the basis of equal opportunities and shall in particular provide free legal aid by suitable legislation of schemes or in any other way to ensure that opportunities for securing justice are not denied to any citizen by reason of economic or other disabilities. This article was added to the Constitution pursuant to the new policy of the then government to given legal aid to economically backward classes of people. In Kishore Chand versus State of Himachal Pradesh, in this case, the court expressed the view that the senior counsel practicing in the court concerned should volunteer to defend the indicted accused as a part of their professional duty and see that remedial steps are taken and an honest and objective investigation is done to enhance a sense of confidence of the public, as youngsters would be meted out with unequal defences. Right to work, to education and to public assistance to certain cases is mentioned in Article 41. Article 41 of Constitution provides that the state shall, within the limits of its economic capacity and development, make effective provision for securing the right to work, to education and to public assistance in cases of unemployment, old age, sickness and disablement, and in other cases of undeserved want. Provision for just and human conditions of work of maternity relief, which is given in Article 42. Article 42 of the Constitution provides that the state shall make the provision for securing just a human conditions of the work for maternity relief. Living wages etc. for workers, it is given in Article 43. Article 43 of Constitution of India provides that the state shall endeavour to secure by suitable legislation or economic organization or in any other way to all workers, agriculture, industrial or otherwise work a living wage, conditions of work ensuring a decent standard of length and full enjoyment of leisure and social and cultural opportunities, and in particular the state shall endeavour to promote cottage industries on an individual or cooperative basis in rural areas. Promotion of educational and economic interest of scheduled caste, scheduled tribes and other weaker sections is mentioned in Article 46. Article 46 of Constitution of India provides that the state shall promote with special care the educational and economic interest of weaker sections of the people and in particular of scheduled caste and the scheduled tribes, and shall protect them from social injustice and all forms of exploitation. Shanti Star Builders versus Narayan Khimalal Totame, the Supreme Court has directed the central government to lay down appropriate guidelines regarding the expression weaker sections of the society. Duty of the state to raise the level of nutrition and the standard of living and to improve public health. This is given under Article 47. Now, Article 47 of Constitution of India states that the state shall regard the raising of the level of nutrition and standard of living of its people and the improvement of public health as among its primary duties, and in particular the state shall endeavour to bring about prohibition of the consumption except for medical purposes, for intoxicating drinks and of drugs which are injurious to health. Organization of village panchayats, which is given in Article 40. Article 40 of Constitution of India provides that the state shall take steps to organize village panchayats and endow them with such powers and authority as may be necessary to enable them to function as units of self-government. Uniform Civil Code, which is given under Article 44. The expression Uniform Civil Code literally means common code for all citizens irrespective of their religion. It was incorporated in Article 44 of Indian Constitution under Part 4 of Directive Principles of State Policy. Article 44 of Indian Constitution directs in order to cut across religion, caste and tribe and to build up homogeneous nation, that the state shall endeavour to secure for citizens a uniform civil code throughout the territory of India. The preamble of the Constitution set forth the ideals and goals to achieved by the state for setting up a social welfare state. For this purpose, directive principles of state policy are provided for under Part 4, that is given under Article 36 to 51 of Constitution. As directive principles are not enforceable, an individual cannot approach the court, that is High Court or Supreme Court, for enforcement of Article 44, which envisages Uniform Civil Code. Protection and improvement of environment and safeguarding of forest and wildlife, which is given under Article 48A. Article 48A of Constitution of India, which was inserted by the Constitution in 42nd Amendment Act 1976, provides that the state shall endeavour to protect and improve the environment and to safeguard the forest and wildlife of country. Protection of monuments and places and objects of national importance, that is given in Article 49. Article 49 of the Constitution of India provides that it shall be the obligation of the state to protect every monument or place or object of artistic or historic interest declared by or under law made by Parliament to be of national importance from spoliations, disfigurement, destruction, removal, disposal or export as the case may be. Separation of judiciary from executive, that is given in Article 50. Article 50 of our Constitution provides that the state shall take steps to separate the judiciary from the executive in the public services of the state. Promotion of international peace and security, which is given in Article 51. This article of Constitution provides that the state shall endeavour to promote international peace and security, maintain just and honourable relations between nations, foster respect for international law and treaty obligations in the dealings of organized people with one another, and encourage settlement of international disputes by arbitration. In Vishakha versus State of Rajasthan, it has been observed that international convention and the norms are to be read into them in absence of enacted domestic law complying in the field when there is no inconsistency between them. International law can be looked into and can be used for interpretation of municipal laws so as to bring them in consonance with international law. Directive Principles, that is part 4 of the Constitution, deals with directive principles of state policy. They are positive rights and impose positive obligations on the state. The directive principles are categorized under 3 heads, namely Social and Economic Charter, Social Security Charter and Community Welfare Charter. In Social and Economic Charter, Article 38 provides for social justice and Article 39D equal pay for equal work. In Social Security Charter, Article 43 provides for workers' participation in management of factories. Article 45 insists on free and compulsory education to all children up to age of 14 years, and Article 39A as inserted by 42nd Amendment provides for equal justice and free legal aid. In Community Welfare Charter, Article 44 envisages Uniform Civil Code, and Article 48A, which is inserted by 42nd Amendment Act 1976, deals with protection and improvement of forest and wildlife. To conclude this session, I would like to tell you that the directive principles are fundamentals in the governance of the country. They are also known as positive rights or social rights. They impose positive obligations on the state. However, they are not enforceable. The directives laid out the end to achieve part 3 prescribes the means through which the goal is to be reached. The directive principles are the ideals which the union and state government must keep in mind while they formulate policy or pass any law. Thank you.